to you live from our studios in Belize City. This is the evening news on Love Television for Monday, October 24th. We'll get the news started by taking a look at the headlines for today. Edmund Castro sworn in as minister. Police officer accused of theft freed of that charge. The third annual Multinational Security Conference held. Belize Tourism Board holds annual award ceremony, and former member of the Belize Workers Union questions the State of Union's finances. Last week, Prime Minister Dean Barrow announced several changes to his cabinet following the resignation of Gaspar Vega. Today, Minister Edmund Castro was sworn in as a full cabinet minister with the responsibility for Transport and National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO. Today's swearing-in took place at the Belize House in Belmopan and was conducted by Belize's Governor General, His Excellency Sir Colville Young. Minister Castro entered the House of Representatives in 2008 under the Barrow administration and had only served in the capacity as Minister of State until now, when he has been assigned his own ministry. He is the area representative for the Belize Rural North. In April 2010, the life and career of Police Constable Jermaine Mangar spiraled into uncertainty as he was accused of being a rogue cop. It is an incident whereby Mangar has maintained innocence throughout the last 6.5 years that he has been on interdiction from the Belize Police Department. Innocence or not, however, the case built against him completely fell apart today in the courtroom of Justice Shona Griffith. As a nolle prosequi was entered, his attorney is Richard Dickey Bradley, who spoke of where the charges stemmed from against Mangar.
Jermaine Mangar and another person were accused of committing these offenses in which something was stolen from somebody, and there was some attempt to go into Chonsan Palace to rob them, hold them up, to go and do surveillance there. He was set up, and somebody called him on the phone to say, boy, I got something for you if you come by so and so. When he go there, he's surrounded by police. He is then at gunpoint taken in and charged. That is the evidence against the man. There's nothing we are catching red-handed or nothing. The person who they assist the police in a trick and trap this man is in fact a career criminal. Came from jail today and went back to jail. Even for this trial, he's in the dock with Jermaine Mangar. So I don't know how you could use a witness against a person when the witness is charged. In any event, Jermaine Mangar, actually he wants to come and come, just that in his case, he's a serving police officer. They will have to pay him for all those years that he has not been on his job. And his name has been dragged through the mud when this thing first happened. And, well, he has another attorney too. Crystal Wilson will also be assisting in his matter in relation to that. So basically what transpired after coming to court all these years for a simple matter, the prosecution informed the trial judge, Justice John Charo Gonzalez, that they will not be proceeding with that matter. So he has been told it has been nolle pros and he's free to leave the court.
The allegations against Mangar were compounded when the then Commissioner of Police Crispin Jeffries and Prime Minister Dean Barrow, via a press conference, praised the good works of Senior Superintendent Edward Broster and Acting Deputy Commissioner of Police Russell Blackett for breaking up a ring of rogue cops believed to have been the masterminds behind several robberies back then. Mangar has come under much scrutiny, for which he says he will be seeking legal recourse against the department with the guidance of his attorney, Dickey Bradley.
There was a major press conference in which even the Prime Minister was involved in saying to the nation they have, in fact, been able to bust a ring of rogue police officers. Nobody has ever been successfully prosecuted. All those officers have had their names scandalized, slandered, defamed, and now finally, after all these years, the last one, they said, we're not going to no case against you. That is part of that matter indeed, a shameful episode in police prosecution. At the end of the day, they could not proceed to trial after years and years and years and years.
April 2010 saw Broster and Blackett set up a sting operation, which resulted in the charge against Mangar and the interdiction of several other officers. Recently, ACP Broster saw another one of his cases fall apart when a group of 11 persons charged in a home invasion in rural Belize were set free upon the directives of the Director of Public Prosecutions. The annual multinational deconfliction conference organized by the Belize Defense Force was held at the Belize Coast Guard headquarters. Aside from its three major partners, the United Kingdom, Canada, and the United States, the conference saw the participation of personnel from the Mexican Navy. Brigadier General David Jones said the conference is to assess the relationship between the countries.
We discussed what sort of support is needed and what they can provide for us. So we would inform them what are our requirements in regards to resources, equipment, and also for training. And whichever of the three forces can provide, they would provide it. The conference has expanded now that we've got the Mexicans here with us, and we've got the Dutch who have joined us this time because they have shown interest to do training and work with the Belize Defense Force and also with the Coast Guard. So the Coast Guard have been part of this conference now, and they're going to continue to be a part of the conference. The conference has been held twice before, so it's been 2 years, and this is the third year running. So when everyone leaves from here, they will know exactly what are the requirements of the Belize Defense Force, what are the requirements of the Coast Guard, what sort of equipment, resources, and training we need. And then between the partners that we have, they can decide what they can provide so we know what we will receive from who. We're trying to get more training opportunities for officers and also for soldiers. Training includes the infantry training, leadership training, qualifications for weaponry, qualifications to run ranges, and also qualifications to operate vessels like the boats, the aircraft, training to include helicopter training for pilots and also for mechanics that repair aircraft and also repair helicopters. There's a range of other specialist courses that we've been asking for to include bomb disposal, ammunition specialty, weapon specialty, that each nation can provide differently or in different categories.
Participants also shared what they hope will come out of the conference and the way forward.
The key thing for us is to provide a number of what we call short-term training teams. And those short-term training teams can really instruct Belizean forces, whether from the BDF or from the Coast Guard, in a whole spectrum of disciplines and competences. And therefore what we ask the Belize Defence Force and the Coast Guard to do is for them to prioritise where what we would call the capability needs or the capability gaps are in your own force and in your own instruction, and we plug those gaps. And I'll give you some examples from this year. This year we have some intelligence analysis courses, we have some drill courses for parade square drill, etc. And of course we have basic tactics courses. So really any kind of military discipline or military activity you can think about, we have the ability to send some of our young instructors who have mostly been on operations in places like Afghanistan and Iraq to impart their knowledge to the Belizean forces here. And they benefit a lot from coming to Belize. They might do some jungle training, but they also benefit a lot just from the experience of working with a partner nation like Belize.
Canada, along with other international partners, are working with a number of regional partners to bring stronger levels of cooperation into the Caribbean region, into what we would refer to as North America's southern border. We work with Belize, Mexico, Guatemala, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, with an effort of building stronger regional partners, and we're also working with our international partners in an effort to synchronize our support to the region. We're doing operations in the region. We deploy our warships to the Caribbean in excess now of 350 days a year. We're doing maritime patrols in excess of 500 hours a year. We're building with the United States and other international partners operation centers. We built one recently here in Belize. We built one in Jamaica, and we're now working with Guatemala to build a third operational center with the aim of building the capacity in various nations such that we can share and cooperate in operations to a higher level.
We would like to help together with our allies or other countries that we are here in this conference to help to enhance, to increase our cooperation with Belize, especially with the Belize Coast Guard, in order to enhance their capabilities and in order to work together in the future. We are looking several approaches about that, but we are thinking in providing training to their officers, and also besides training, we would like to share our technology and to see if we can provide technical engineers in order to maintain their vessels, which we have a very good shipyards in Mexico. We are seeking some approach in order to build some ships to Belizean Coast Guard.
In the coming year, we're going to be working with essentially your Belizean Coast Guard, and we will provide training teams to come down and assist them with maintenance operations on the small boats that they have, as well as boat handling capability. And then we bring a security cooperation team that comes in as well and trains with the Belizean Defense Force, and they do small unit tactics, infantry fighting skills, and really what we're doing more than anything is we're building relationships. We're building friendships, fellowships, and we're building the future between our two nations that is going to carry us through shared challenges of the future so that we are both successful.
This was the third annual conference. Ladyville police are investigating a report made by a Coast Guard officer. The 24-year-old man went to the Ladyville police station early this morning where he claims two men attempted to sexually assault him. Assistant Superintendent Commissioner of Police Juanito Cacom shared more details.
He stated that he was socializing with two persons at a residence on Paris Road, Ladyville, when he was sexually accosted by the two men. They attempted to rape him. He claims that they attempted to rape him and that he fought them off. Shortly thereafter, a person arrived at the station bringing two male persons bleeding profusely. Both men are of number 14 Heckler Wood Road, Ladyville Village. Both were immediately transported to Belize City and are presently at the Belize Medical Associates undergoing treatment. They received wounds to the head and are listed in a stable condition. Police then visited the residence on Paris Road where the incident had occurred. It was processed, a machete, a chisel and other items were retrieved. So far, we have still not managed to get a proper account of the incident from the persons at the hospital, at the Belize Medical Associates. As we speak, police officers are interviewing them to see their side of the story.
The police have been unable to speak with the two accused as they are undergoing medical treatment. ASP Cocom stated that if the allegations against the men can be proven, they will seek advice of the Director of Public Prosecutions on how to handle the case. Police are looking into a shooting incident that has a member of the Belize Coast Guard critical at the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital in Belize City. 28-year-old Daniel Arzu of Anil's Penn Road address was shot this evening at the apartment complex where he lives at around 5 o'clock. The bullet entered his right temple and exited the crown of his head. Circumstances leading to the incident remain unknown, but we are following this story. A 17-year-old student was badly beaten on Friday night. The incident occurred at the corner of Central American Boulevard and Mascal Street. Police say the teenager was attacked by three men. He was stabbed twice, once to the chest and once to the face. He is hospitalized in a critical condition. Assistant Commissioner of Police Commanding Eastern Division South, Chester Williams, spoke to the media.
On Friday night, sometime after 11 p.m., the police received information of a male person who was seen lying down on the street in the area of Raccoon Street and Boulevard. Police responded, and upon arrival, they found the person to be one Kenroy Daly, a 17-year-old. He appeared to have been severely beaten and stabbed. He was rushed to the KHMH by the police, and he is currently admitted in a critical but stable condition. We're hoping for his full recovery. Police investigation has so far led to the arrest of a 16-year-old. In respect to that matter, he was charged with attempted murder and dangerous harm.
According to ACP Williams, the attack was over a female. 3 government officials were sued in the courts for defamation of character after certain statements were made against the chief pharmacist, Sharon Anderson. Today, Justice Shona Griffith issued her judgment on the matter, which was in favor of Anderson, who was represented by attorney Herbert Panton.
Essentially, 3 officers of government, namely the CEO, and 2 other members of the tender committee in the Ministry of Health. Our allegation is that they made some defamatory statements against Ms. Anderson, and this morning the court found that yes, in fact, the words complained of were in fact defamatory and awarded damages. The most recent cases, about 3 or 4 more recent cases in Belize, hover around the $30,000 mark. Our contention was that 1, defamatory statements were published to the tender committee, and 2, those statements were again repeated a few weeks later when there was a press conference held. The learned justice refused to look at the circumstances with regards to the press conference, but what she did say is that certainly by the time of the press conference, the fact that Ms. Anderson was on sick leave was in the public domain, so that the CEO and the other defendants came out looking far worse than Ms. Anderson did.
Anderson was seeking $20,000 but was only awarded $5,000. In early 2014, the government had come under much pressure when it was brought to light that despite not being qualified, the daughter of Minister Erwin Contreras was hired to fill the post of Director of Drug Inspectorate. It was posting that the government would not bend on despite pressures coming directly upon the then Chief Executive Officer for Health, Dr. Peter Allen. During that period, some animosity was uncovered between CEO Allen and Anderson, and things got nasty when it was formally announced within the ministry that Anderson had gone on strike when really she was on sick leave. Internally, the procurement manager had written on April 11, 2014 that, quote, "It is to my understanding that Mrs. Sharon Anderson is on strike and refusing to sign supplies. This could seriously endanger the health of our patients," end of quote. That was followed by a comment by CEO Allen that Anderson was, quote, "holding the system to ransom," end quote. This resulted in the lawsuit being filed and the outcome announced today, which attorney Panton says he is unsure whether an appeal for the amount will be made.
I have had an initial discussion with my client. We will look at it more closely when the written judgment comes out, but I don't think that we would be going any further at this point. It's prescribed cost on $50,000, and when there's a formula in the rules, when you work it out, it comes to around $12,000.
Onus is now on the government of Belize to pay the judgment in this case. The frequency of fires caused by burning candles has propelled the Belize Electricity Limited to offer families that are struggling financially affordable payment plans. In a press release issued today, BEL expressed concern for families who have lost all property and risked their lives because they cannot afford to pay for electricity. BEL says that they want to provide the opportunity for customers and potential customers to afford safe and reliable electricity. They are asking all customers who are unable to pay for their utility bill to visit their offices countrywide and make arrangements to meet their payments other than resort to unsafe use of burning candles. BEL also states that they are willing to help their customers with a connection plan to access electricity for the first time. According to BEL, through the social rate customers plan, poor and marginalized families can reduce their electricity bills to less than $1 a day. BEL reminds customers, however, that sharing and stealing of electrical power is illegal. Customers that are currently in that situation can visit BEL offices and arrange a reasonable payment plan. Last week, Friday, we showed you checks written out to Ramiro Gongora, Gilberto Castillo, and Malco Cabrera. Gongora is the chairman of the Belize Workers Union, and Castillo and Cabrera are executive members. These men are being accused of misusing the funds of the BWU. The checks written to them were cashed using the union's general and membership bank accounts. We received 34 checks written to Gongora, Castillo, and Cabrera, totaling more than $15,000. A bank statement shows that there is an overdraft of over $24,000. We have attempted numerous times to get in contact with Gongora, Castillo, and Cabrera, but none have been successful. We did, however, manage to speak with one of the founding members of the BWU, Horace Patton. Patton has been following the situation, and he says he is pretty upset.
What transpired there really hurt, because there's a lot of things to hear. And I was quite surprised of workers who elect people to office and pay no attention to what's transpired within their own office. Another thing, and the type of work I did, because I remember way back, I could go way back within the 30 years I speak about, where I went abroad on several occasions, write proposals for building an office and all that to BWU. We were successful in that assistance, and we get great assistance from BSI at that time, Mr. Bongne, and Mr. McFarlane, who we were able to buy the land from, and from Mr. Bongne, who helped us, in help assist, because BSI helped us with a loan, which we had to pay back. And the workers, all the workers who were there present at that time, contributed handsomely to the building of the union office. So it's the workers, it was people's money who made sacrifice to get that office there. And to see it turn out in this way, it really hurts. There's no way to explain that, man. It really hurts. In my point of view, if something could be done to people like these, I think they should do something about it. I know we have the tripartite body and the labor office, no? I think that the members who are presently there must make one stand. They must make one stand and do something about this type of thing. Because if we don't stamp out anything when they grow up, people will continue to do it, So it has to be stamped out. I'm very, very much annoyed. I mean, all the years we have served, we never did had any type of behavior within the trade union movement. But now, these type of behaviors pop up, and I'm quite annoyed about it.
Have you spoken to Ramiro Gongora, Mr. Castillo, Mr. Cabrera?
No, I've not been able to speak with none of them, because I don't think they want to speak with me.
We understand that a meeting has been scheduled for Friday so that the membership can address the matter. The family of a 44-year-old Tyrone Coleman needs your help. Coleman, who is a driver for James Bus Line, needs to undergo an open heart surgery. But first, he needs to be airlifted to the Cayman Islands. His family is trying to secure funds to get him to the Cayman Islands. Coleman's sister-in-law, Dorla Williams, gave us more details.
The update is we've raised we're over $10,000, and as we're speaking right now, people are contributing, people are calling and contributing towards this cause, right? One of the hospitals that we have been in contact with is the Health City Hospital in Cayman Island. They are very passionate about helping us. You know, we are 2 Caribbean countries, and the staff there at the hospital, they have been dialoguing with us. They have been in touch with Dr. Koye here, so it's a back and forth dial, you know, from hospital to hospital, and with the family also. And also the representative here in Belize for Cayman Island, Mrs. McNabb. She's also been in touch with the family. The surgery can't be done here at the moment because at Carl Hughes they do have visiting American doctors who come in and do perform heart surgeries, as I understand. But they won't be coming into Belize until November 13th, and that's too late for him.
Coleman is currently at the KHMH in a stable condition. Monies can be deposited into Scotiabank account 1902322 or Belize Bank account 5514 and Atlantic Bank account 211497904, Heritage Bank account 9213351 and Holy Redeemer Credit Union account 41726. The family can be contacted at 633-3436, at 634-3124, or 601-6229. A 14-year-old girl was reported missing over the weekend. A Jasmine alert notification was sent out countrywide, and the good news tonight is that the teenager is back home with her family, safe and in good health. Assistant Commissioner of Police Chester Williams shared how Facebook helped them in locating the young girl.
We had put out the Jasmine alert notification, and I also saw it viral on Facebook. And that is good, because to see that people are using social media for good purposes is very, very enlightening. Since she went missing, the police, we have been very busy trying to locate her. And again, yesterday, due to the public cooperation again, we were led to a house on Southside Belize City, where the child was found in good health. And as is customary with every child that goes missing, she was handed over to the domestic violence unit, and the social workers were called in to inquire as to the reasons why she had gone missing, to see what measures they can put in place to prevent it from reoccurring. But I am happy to say that she was reunited with her family yesterday and was in good health.
The month of October is Credit Union Month, and this year the Belize Credit Union League is celebrating its 60th anniversary. As part of this celebration, the Belize Credit Union launched its stabilization program. A convention was held on Saturday in Belize City under the theme, The Authentic Difference. Executive Director Corinne Fuller spoke to Love News.
The third Thursday in every October is celebrated worldwide as Credit Union Day, International Credit Union Day. And in Belize, credit unions on that day do some celebration, but we come together as a League of Credit Unions on the Saturday to have a convention and a banquet, because we are celebrating the 60th year of service by the Credit Union League, and we're also celebrating the launch of our stabilization program. Well, credit unions are different from other financial institutions. One of the main differences is that a member of a credit union is also an owner of a credit union. So they're not customers, they're members, but they're also owners. Another key difference is that they participate in the governance of a credit union. So when you go to your AGM, you have the opportunity to put yourself up to be elected to govern a credit union, and on your vote, even your vote doesn't depend on the amount of savings that you have in your credit union. If I, as a member, have $1,000 saved and another member has $12,000 saved, our vote, we have one vote. Each of us would have one vote.
According to the president of the league, Leopoldo Romero, the stabilization program is a preventative program designed to avert financial difficulties or recuperate losses incurred by credit unions.
This has been in the making for a couple of years now, where the credit unions are saying that we need a fund to assist in any crisis, any given period, where we can make use of this fund to stabilize the credit union and bring it up. So instead of the credit union folding in because of a small amount of money, this can be injected into the system and the credit unions can come back and be stable. The most important part of the program, though, is the self-regulation, where the Belize Credit Union League is going to ensure that the credit unions do have their capital reserves, do have their liquidity in place, do have other good governance issues in place. And so when monitoring and when reporting, it will give us the opportunity to flag any misguidance and so act on it immediately. The fund, at least one credit union has placed a deposit already to start the fund, and we have had the commitment of most of all the other credit unions who will deposit money as an expense, and so the program will be managed by a subcommittee of the board of the league and work with the credit unions, do the reporting, and ensure that we stay stable and we keep growing and supporting each other.
Capacity building training for cooperative enterprises in Toledo was held yesterday in Punta Gorda. Correspondent Paul Mahong has the story.
Registrar of Cooperatives Garrett Murillo was at the training sessions and spoke of the program.
The Department of Cooperatives has embarked on a nationwide training and capacity building for members of cooperative enterprises. This program is expected to be delivered in 4 phases and covers such topics as financial literacy and organizational development, what is a cooperative, cooperative administration and management, cooperative accounting and financial procedures, a marketing versus a supply cooperative, and entrepreneurship. Here in Toledo, we are completing phase 1, as similar such programs have been undertaken in the Corozal and Orange Walk districts, in the Belize and Kaya districts, and in the Stan Creek district.
Registrar of Cooperatives Garrett Murillo expressed satisfaction with the attendance of 64 members from 10 cooperatives and 3 groups of affiliates in Toledo, and their interest and active participation in training sessions facilitated by 6 cooperative officers of the Department of Cooperatives. Reporting for Love News, Paul Mahone, Punta Gorda.
Members of the Gang Suppression Unit recently received a tip that led them to the Berger field off Vernon Street in Belize City. Upon conducting searches in the area yesterday just before 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the officers found a .380 Colt automatic handgun along with 5 live rounds of ammunition in the magazine in the possession of a minor. The male minor, who resides on Mayflower Street, was taken into custody to the Queen Street Police Station in the company of his mother, where he was charged with kept firearm without a gun license and kept ammunition without a gun license. Hattieville police were busy over the weekend intersecting the flow of drugs and weapons in that area. On Sunday, October 23rd in the morning at around 9:45, police stopped a red Geo Prism vehicle driven by Angel Vidal of Central American Street, Benque Viejo town, accompanied by a minor, in which they found a substantial amount of marijuana. Police suspect that Vidal was working with a drug gang that operates across the western border. Assistant Commissioner of Police Juanito Cocom tells us more.
I'd like to commend Hattieville Police for good efforts over the weekend that yielded a substantial amount of cannabis and a Sada firearm as well. On a vehicle checkpoint at mile 15 on the George Price Highway, stop a red Geoprism vehicle. Searches on a luggage in the trunk of the vehicle reveal 16 parcels of suspected cannabis amounting to 14.870 kilos. Both persons were arrested and charged with drug trafficking. They were arraigned today at Magistrate Court Belize City, where Vidal pled guilty. He was fined $10,000 to be paid by 24th October 2017. In default, 3 years imprisonment. The vehicle was forfeited as well, and the charges against the minor were withdrawn.
Hours later, at 8:30 in the night, Hattieville police made another discovery. Police found a sawed-off shotgun that they believed to have been strategically placed to commit a crime. ASP Kakum tells us more.
Hattieville relief personnel confiscated a sawed-off shotgun at a yard in America Street, Hattieville Village. Presently, an investigation is being carried out as there is information of who might have placed that firearm there. If no evidence is obtained to link the person to the firearm, it will be deposited as found property.
Eastern Division Rural Police have just received the addition of 10 new police officers. ASP Kakum stated that the officers will be a great resource in their fight against crime, adding reinforcement to relief stations where they previously had only 5 officers. They will now have 2 extra PCs. Belize City Police found over 900 grams of cannabis, 1 9mm pistol with 19 rounds and 1.38 revolver in an abandoned lot in the St. Martin's area. No one was in that area at the time of the discovery until the items were taken to the police station where they were labeled as found property. According to the commander of Eastern Division South, Assistant Commissioner of Police Chester Williams, it could not be possible without the help of the community.
On 3 different occasions, police received information, and acting upon those informations received, we were able to confiscate from the streets of Belize City yesterday 2 firearms. That is a 9mm pistol with 18 live rounds and a 1.38 revolver. The other incident, we seized a total of 925 grams of cannabis from the street. So I want to continue to give thanks to the public for helping us in making Southside Belize City a safer place. And we want to be able to build upon that relationship that we have built to ensure that it remains at a level where the police can provide the level of security that the citizens of Southside Belize City deserve. And it feels even better to know that the public themselves now is participating in what the police is doing to ensure that their area is safe. Well, we know that both firearms are functional, and most naturally someone had put them there to have it out of the reach of the police. But again, like I said, the public has been very helpful, and we call upon others who may know of firearms that is being concealed by those persons who are known to be involved in gang activities to let us know, and we will do our utmost best to maintain that level of confidentiality in terms of ensuring that the identity of anybody who gives us any information is not revealed to members of the public, because we must be able to keep people safe. And one such way of doing so is for us to be able to maintain that level of confidentiality.
Today, Wesley College marked the start of Red Ribbon Week once again. We visited the school and spoke with the counselor and about the impact that commemorating Ribbon Week has for the students at Wesley. The Drug Awareness Week is being celebrated internationally this year under the widely appealing theme for young people, "You only live once, be drug-free." Counselor Mariceli Soberanes tells us more about Red Ribbon Week and what the school has organized.
Red Ribbon Week is also called Drug Prevention or Drug Awareness Week, and it's a week just to emphasize on the awareness of drugs for youths. And so we opened this morning with a ceremony and just giving a talk about, you know, the use of drugs. And on Wednesday, we have a parade, a church service. We also have competitions, an essay competition, a variety show. On Friday, it's a little bit more fun. We have a roast and toast after school. You wear red. We also have the students, they each get a red ribbon and they do a pledge saying that I will be drug free. We also have the K9 unit come in and doing a demonstration and going to the class. So it's not just having them, it's incorporating the classes. So different ways teachers can also bring learning in the classroom.
Members of the Red Ribbon Week Committee, Bernard Bradley, spoke about the changes the commemoration of Red Ribbon Week has affected on the school and the importance of involving parents in the campaigning against drugs.
Students here are Southside children and they are exposed to drug use on a daily basis. Some of our own students we have had issues with, and Drug Awareness Week helps as a way to not only bring awareness but to also educate them on the consequences of drug use. Being a member of Wesley College, they're always approached on the street, even if they're in situations where they're using drugs. People have said to them, aren't you from Wesley College? Don't you guys promote drug awareness? Don't you guys say that you are drug free? And it helps to encourage the students to keep being drug free. Majority of the people out there using drugs are teenagers and older. And if teenagers see other teenagers advocating for a drug-free life, it would be very effective. Most of our students are friends with some of those very drug users out there. And if they see them setting the example, I mean, it's just like a smile. It carries on the more you go. As teachers always say, we are not the only ones who raise the children. What we do here, we really hope that the parents encourage their children to carry on at home. This Friday we're having a roast and toast, and it is not only limited to students, but their parents can accompany them as well to show support for our Red Ribbon Week.
This is the 18th annual Red Ribbon Week Wesley College has commemorated. Our thought conditioner for today is from Eleanor Roosevelt. It reads, quote, "You wouldn't worry so much about what others think of you if you realize how seldom they do." End of quote. This has been the evening news on Love Television. We invite you to log on to our website at www.lovefm.com for transcripts of our news stories. We thank you for joining us. Have a safe and enjoyable evening, and we'll be back here tomorrow. I am Taryn Butcher.